There is a moment, you felt it, where something happens, and before you even realize it, you've already said something, done something, sent that message, raised your voice, walked out of the room, and then, seconds later, you ask yourself, why did I do that? This is not a modern problem. This is not caused by social media or stress or the pace of modern life. This is one of the oldest struggles in human history. And a man who lived 2,000 years ago, a man who was born into chains, owned by another human being, with no freedom, no rights, no future, found the answer. His name was Epictetus, and what he discovered in his years of slavery would become one of the most powerful ideas ever written about the human mind. Most people believe that what happens to them causes how they feel. Someone cuts you off in traffic, you feel rage. Your boss criticizes your work, you feel shame. A friend ignores your message, you feel hurt. This seems obvious, it seems natural. It seems like basic cause and effect. But Epictetus said something that, once you truly understand it, changes everything. He said, "It is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things." Read that again slowly. It is not the traffic. It is not your boss. It is not the unanswered message. It is your interpretation of those things, your automatic, unconscious judgment that creates the emotion that then drives the behavior. The event happens, then a judgment happens so fast you don't even notice it, then the emotion, then the reaction. Most people live their entire lives stuck in this chain, never realizing that there is a gap between the event and the response, a gap where choice lives. Epictetus called this the most important skill a human being could develop. But why did Epictetus understand this so deeply? Because he had no choice but to understand it. He was born a slave in the city of Hierapolis, in what is now modern-day Turkey. His name, Epictetus, literally means acquired, a word used for property, for possessions. He was not named, he was labeled. His master, a man named Epictetus, was himself a freed slave who had risen to become a powerful secretary under Emperor Nero. And Epictetus treated his slaves as tools. According to ancient accounts, Epictetus once twisted Epictetus's leg, slowly, deliberately, as a demonstration of power. Epictetus reportedly said, calmly, "If you continue, you will break it." The leg was broken. Epictetus said, "Did I not tell you that you would break it?" No rage, no collapse, no begging. He had already understood something that most free people never learn. His body could be controlled. His leg could be broken. But his judgment, his response to what was happening, that belonged to him alone. This was not indifference. This was not weakness. This was the most radical form of freedom a human being can possess. So what does this mean for you, living your life in the 21st century? It means that every time you react, every time you fire back, shut down, explode, or collapse, you are handing over the one thing that is truly yours. You are giving someone else control of your inner world. Epictetus divided all of existence into two categories: things within our control and things outside our control. Within our control, our opinions, our desires, our impulses, our responses. Outside our control, our body, our reputation, our relationships, what other people think, what other people do, what happens to us. And here is the painful truth he wanted you to sit with. Most of what you spend your energy on is in the second category. You cannot control whether your boss respects you. You cannot control whether your relationship survives. You cannot control the economy, the news, the behavior of people around you. You cannot even fully control your own health. But you can, with practice, with discipline, with conscious effort, control how you respond to all of it. This is the entire foundation of Stoic philosophy, and it begins with a single pause. Epictetus taught his students to practice what he called the pause, a deliberate moment between stimulus and response where you ask yourself one question: is this within my control or outside my control? If it is outside your control, your only task is to accept it and decide how to respond, not how to feel, that will come, but how to respond. If it is within your control, your task is to act, not from emotion, but from reason. This sounds simple. It is not easy. Because your brain is not designed for this. Your brain is designed for survival. It is designed to react fast to threat and rejection and social danger. The part of your brain that triggers reaction is ancient, older than language, older than civilization. Epictetus did not have neuroscience, but he understood the mind well enough to know that the instinct to react is almost always faster than the capacity to think. So he recommended one practice above all others: preparation. Every morning, before the day begins, he asked his students to sit with one thought. Today, things will happen that I do not like. People will irritate me. Plans will fail. Something unexpected will occur. And when it does, I will remember. My response is mine. Nothing can take that from me. This is not pessimism. This is armor. The person who reacts is the person who has forgotten, in that moment, what belongs to them. The person who responds has remembered. Think of the last time someone said something that hurt you. In the moment you felt the pain, there was a choice, though it may not have felt like one. You could ask, what is this person's situation that led them to say this? You could ask, does this person's opinion of me actually define me? You could ask, is what they said true? And if it is, can I use it? These questions do not erase the pain. Epictetus never promised that. What they do is prevent the pain from becoming the response. Because a reaction is emotion wearing the mask of action. It feels powerful, but it almost always makes the situation worse. It damages relationships. It creates regret. It hands control to whoever or whatever triggered you. A response is different. A response comes from a person who, for just 1 second, remembered who they are. Epictetus was eventually freed. The historical record is not entirely clear on how or when, but he went on to establish a school of philosophy in Nicopolis, in northwestern Greece. Students traveled from across the Roman world to study with him. And what did he teach them? Not theory, not abstract arguments. He taught them how to live inside their own minds. He taught them that philosophy without practice is decoration, that every day is a test of whether you actually believe what you claim to believe. He taught them that the goal of all this work, the pause, the discipline, the examination of judgment, was not to become emotionless. It was to become free. Free from the tyranny of circumstance, free from the need for other people's approval, free from the compulsion to react to everything that happens as if your survival depends on it, because it does not. You will face something today, maybe something small, a comment, a delay, a disappointment, maybe something larger. And in that moment, there will be a version of you that reacts. That version is fast and loud and has been running the show for most of your life. But there is another version, a slower version, a version that pauses, even for 2 seconds, and asks, what do I actually want to happen here? What response would the person I want to be give right now? Epictetus was a slave who was freer than most people who have ever lived. That freedom was not given to him. It was built, one judgment at a time, and it is available to you.